We're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk.
Are we?
Yeah, we're back.
Are we back? All right, we're back. JP says we're back. That means we're back. Good morning, folks. Welcome to Saturday Morning Sports Talk, brought to you by McDonald's. I want to shout out to, well, probably not listening today. I will save that shout out next week. Zach, while you're sitting there, I was going to say hey to Eyes and Moose this week, but they're out of town.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we figured that out early in the week, didn't we, Kevin?
They tune in a little to us on Saturdays and check us out. So I want to say hi to them while they're out there. But they may be at the beach listening to us, but they're probably sitting in the Sound of Tom and dipping their toes in that Ohio water. All right, welcome to back to Sports Talk. You know, headline writing is key. Sometimes you just, got to pay attention and either you're really good at it or you're really accidentally good at it. So I don't know what to take from this one. Wimbledon had a match suspended, and Ben Shelton, they wanted to keep playing and finish it. Yeah. But Chip, do you want to? I'll let you pick who reads the headline on this one.
Let's let Terry do this. I would pick Tom, but I need Tom to call in real quick.
I'm supposed to read that?
Yeah. To finish the match.
Okay. Ben Shelton lasted 1 minute.
There you go. American Ben Shelton just needed 1 minute to finish his suspended match. And then that's what they post on the story.
He's very proud of himself in that picture.
With the fist bump. FanDuel's silly with that one. That's who posted it. All right, how about a stat for you? From 1997 to 2009, Tiger Woods in majors was a grand total negative 134.
Yep.
The closest to him was plus 99.
Phil
Mickelson.
Yep.
250 strokes closest player to him.
No player under par except for him.
So this is a thread that I went and read the other day, Chip. I thought you'd be interested in this. Golf balls. So we've been a lot of talk about the rollback. Well, how about these folks did some research on them, cutting the balls open, and same balls, same sleeves have different ingredients, let's say.
Oh, really?
So there's now a big scandal that's about to explode in the golf ball industry. So they did a golf ball test here, and the manufacturers said you only needed to hit a couple balls per brand. They said a robot hitting the golf balls, that would all of them land basically in a bucket. That's how consistently their balls were. They were wrong. They said not only did they not all land in a bucket, our jaws dropped when we saw what happened. Some of the golf balls from the biggest names in the business and some of the most popular balls played in the world will fly 40 yards offline. Yeah, you heard that right. A ball that should have went straight started off that way and then would go 40 yards left. It wasn't a one-time thing. Multiple brands flying 20 yards left or 40 yards right, depending on the machine. Let's see. So that means, Chip, for even if you've hit a bad shot or good shot, you don't even know, might not even know it.
Yeah, might not be rewarded for it.
So
might not just be your swing.
So before this test, they thought all 12 blocks in a box would perform the same. After we started cutting the balls open to find out what was wrong with them, we found incredibly off-center cores, completely different golf balls on the inside. Golf balls with ground-up rubber tires. Some brands had one name on the ball, and there were internal parts of other balls. Over the last few years, the ball testing we've done and the ball lab testing has cleaned up a lot of this mess in the industry. We still see a lot of quality control industry, and we're 100% that these are 100% affecting our scores. So basically, they went through and did a lot of this testing, and it's something's fishy is going on. Whether it's fishy or what, they're not the same things.
I'm gonna stick with that. That's the reason I've been bad all these years. I think I'm a really good golfer. These golf balls are just messing with me.
It's the golf balls.
It's the golf balls.
It's always.
It's gotta be the golf balls.
I don't even know what to say or think about that. It's just kind of a weird situation. You would think they'd be all made the same. Are they doing cost cutting? Making the balls, like, why would they be different inside inside the same sleeves in the same brands? It's kind of like, car manufacturers or like the eyeglass industry or whatever. The same brands, but they just use different names on everything.
It's kind of that's wacky to consider that you're depending on which ball you use in a sleeve, you're not getting the same effect that you would with the exact same ball in a sleeve or a different ball in the same sleeve.
You ever heard of Big Cedar Golf?
Mm-mm.
I haven't either. But this is we're going to take you to the tee box at number 3 at Big Cedar inside a cavern. Check how cool this is.
The Knicks have. The thing that's ironic and
that's probably the WNBA in the background. I had to switch that out real quick. Let me find where that audio is coming from because that ain't even playing right now. Shut up. It's Ace Bailey's. Ace Bailey's
intro.
His scouting report.
Yeah.
Here we go. Lions Den 115 yards through
That's a beautiful
a waterfall.
shot.
How cool is that, Chip?
Beautiful shot.
That's pretty.
It's very, very beautiful.
And I can complain. I can blame it on the waterfall if my shot's not
Right.
good.
The water hit the ball. Did y'all see that?
That's definitely water. Definitely knocked that offline.
But how cool is that? 115 yards through the waterfall. That's the tee box back there on the hill. For the folks couldn't see,
That's cool.
right there.
Water run. Look at that water
That's
run
the
all the way
tee box.
down beside the hole.
Neato. Look,
Bridgewater or something. I think I'm trying to see where it's located.
Missouri. Ain't that an MO? Oh, you can't
Yeah.
see on
It's
your
hard to
screen.
see, yeah.
I've got a bigger screen here. I think it's Missouri. It says Big Cedar. You look that up. Big Cedar Golf. See where that comes out. But neat. Let's see. I think I had a couple more here of golf. Chip, did you see the bear? I think was you here when we went over the bears to USGA?
No,
You haven't seen any bears at the.
the golden bear, but that's.
How about the black bear chasing the deer
Oh, hey.
at the U.S. Open?
In the morning, didn't harm any spectators, but he did give my colleague Dottie Pepper quite a scare when it ran across the 13th fairway.
Oh my God, you guys!
Do you see it, Dottie?
It's like 15 yards.
Going right across. Yeah, there goes Ty. There he is. And he's stuck.
Amazing he didn't mess with anything, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like all them people there, all that food there. It's just amazing. They didn't have any
He's probably scared.
other problems.
That's a lot of people.
I would have been Dottie Pepper too. I would have been like, oh my God.
What's the scariest wildlife you've seen in Augusta? Tiger or Greg Norman, the shark. You probably haven't seen him.
No, I did.
He's been there in a while.
We saw he was there last year. Actually,
was he?
had to buy his own ticket.
How about the walrus?
Yeah,
did see Craig Stadler?
They got a few animals that wild animals in Augusta. Sometimes.
Yeah. Craig Stadler and his son. Stadler played the last year he played Augusta was the first year his son qualified to play. So he wanted to be able to play the tournament the same year his son did.
All right, boys. Where are they at this weekend? And did they do anything?
They
important this weekend?
are. Max Home is in contention. Let me see if I can find it. It is Missouri. Is where that course is located. I know that Home is in the running right now on the leaderboard. They are currently the John Deere Classic, TPC Deere Run in Silvis, Illinois. Doug Gims currently leading at 12. You got a host of players, including Home at 11 under. Next week it will be you got two different. You got a PGA event here in the States, but then also co-sponsored event by the DP World Tour, what used to be formerly known as the European Tour, and the PGA Tour with the Scottish Open, which always leads up the week before to the Open Championship, which will be the weekend of. Make sure I'm giving you the proper 17th through the 20th. Yeah, it's Thursday, July the 17th will be the first round of the Open Championship this year at Royal Portrush. Be curious to see. I'm sure we'll talk more about it next week and in the following week. But that's Rory's backyard. It's the one Open that is that's played outside of the Great Britain or England and Scotland. It's the one course right now in the Open rotation that's in Northern Ireland, and that's obviously Rory's home country. So curious to see. He's had since the Masters. His life's obviously changed even more than as crazy as it was beforehand. He's had a lot. He's had to try to wrap his head around since the win at Augusta, but hopefully a chance to kind of regroup and gear up.
Has he untwisted his panties yet? Is he done? Is he done? Is he done pouting? Is he ready to play? He's ready. He's ready to get on the golf course. You know I'm right about that.
I'm not. I like Rory way too much. I'm not, and I can't imagine how all the things that have been impacted. And Rory is honestly, and you ask anybody in the media, he is one of the, if not the best interview that you can have in the sport of golf right now. He's candid, he's transparent, he's thoughtful, and I think honestly, especially with what happened at Quail Hollow with the driver thing being leaked and so many people outside the sport. I mean, the first when we first mentioned it, what was Tom's first comment? So he cheated. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what everybody who didn't understand thought that's what non-conforming driver. That's what they thought it meant, and which is not the case. And I think the fact that he's always been so willing to be open and available to the media, for the most part, he got burned, and he was like, "All right, if this is how y'all are going to be, then I don't owe y'all anything, and we're not." And he and Colin Morikawa, whether you like it or not, I love to hear them interview. I like to hear their points of view after an interview. But they're right. The PGA does not require them to talk to the media after rounds. So
should they?
I would not be opposed to them doing it.
But my question is, should there be and this is weird to say, how do you do it and say like the media don't want to talk to every freaking golfer that comes
your
through
top
there.
10.
But
I think you got.
But again, though, Terry, what if you're like a big story though?
What if you're? I mean,
like what if you're like the guy that just won?
Like Rory, the one time he just walked off when.
Like if Rory walks, if they don't make the cut, you still want to talk to the top 10 guys.
And I'll
I don't know how to make. I don't know what rule to make.
Well, let's back this up. Let's back this up. Let's go back 20 years. I think he was standoffish. I think he at times had an attitude. His tone was bad. But pretty much any time that the media wanted to talk to Tiger after a round, didn't matter if he was in contention, if he missed the cut, when they wanted to talk to him, he would take the interview. Now it could be a 15, 20-second interview. He'd have a little bit of an attitude if he wasn't happy. He was standoffish at times, and I didn't think that was, but he would, and and I think that was an example he learned from Arnold and Jack. And there's two sides to this. Arnold and Jack were two of the best interviews, and I think I've told y'all the story. The year that Jack was trying to win the Grand Slam in one calendar year, he'd won the Masters and the U.S. Open. He went into the final round in contention at Muirfield at the Open Championship and lost to Lee Trevino. He went into the media and he was just crushed. I mean, he was as disappointed, he said, as he had ever been in his career. And he walked into the media room. He said, and I was just patient. I answered every question they could. And he said, and apparently I did something right because when I walked out, all the media gave me a standing ovation.
Yeah, they don't want to come around where when Shambo won the thing and then Roy turned around and just walked away, went straight to his stuff, grabbed his stuff, went to the car, got in the car, left. People don't want to see that.
Well, Shane Lowry made a great point this year at the Masters. And when I heard his interview, and I think, to Kevin's point, I'm not if it were me, you're asking Chip's opinion, I think the PGA should consider requiring. I think they need to require their top 10 in the contention that week, but also your top 3 to 5 world golf ranking players, whether they're in contention or not. If they're on the premises, if it's before the cut, or if they still made the cut, people want to hear their point of view.
I know I'm going to blow your minds on this one. NBA, NFL, baseball, all of it. I don't think anyone should be required to talk to the press at all.
The point I would make go ahead.
I think it's tough the first 2 hours.
I think anybody. You're right.
Say that again.
I think it's tough the first 2 hours.
Well, that's Shane Lowry. This is what I was going to say about Shane Lowry.
You got to have a little bit of time to get your thoughts.
That's exactly what Lowry said. I don't like that y'all expect me to come talk to you right as soon as I just missed the cut, or I'm fighting for this. I just finished bogey, double bogey, and you want me to come talk to you right now when I'm just raw and just dealing with this.
But after 2 hours, half of them's gone.
Well, I was about to say, you wait 30 minutes.
You're right.
You just take a shower.
I think they need give them time to get cleaned up at least.
Even if you, but even if you don't want to talk, I don't think anyone should, because like you said, this is my life. This is I'm in all the sports. Like if I had a bad day, if I did something, like I just don't see why you should be required to talk to him. If
But
you want to come talk, you can come
The
talk.
flip to that is, Kevin, you're right. It is your life, but this is the profession you chose. And the only reason that they are, well, one of the primary reasons that they are as financially secure as they are is because of the interest that people take in it due to the media coverage.
But then you turn back.
There's a give and a take to it.
Yeah, then you turn back where half the people are going to say, I'm only here so I won't get fined.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, again, like,
you know,
do you really want to talk to someone that don't want to be there and don't want to say nothing good? And then all you're going to do is paint them in the back. Like, was it ever worth it now, Bonds ever speaking to a reporter?
Right, fair.
If Bonds never spoke to a reporter and just said, guys, I don't do interviews his whole career, he may be in the Hall of Fame. He may not. But I just, again, that stuff they'll hold against you. So it's like talking to the police. They're going to hold it against you, whatever you say. So do I talk to you or not? Now, if you want to do an interview, like Rory wants to do a podcast and that on Monday or Tuesday, like Denny Hamlin does every Monday and talks about what happened, that may be the way they go. But sitting there and listening to these reporters who've never dribbled a basketball before judge you, like none of y'all can dribble a basketball. Not a single one of you can hit a golf ball 100 yards. But you're judging me about how I'm living my life, and I just won the Grand Slam. I just think it's funny he's being pissy. He's the little Irish boy that's being pissy, and who cares?
I think he feels he feels like the media. I don't want to say betrayed him, but again, he's arguably the best.
He learned a lesson. I guess
he's arguably the best interview in the sport right now. It has been for years, and I genuinely like Rory. He is genuinely. I mean, I've never.
I'm glad he won it.
I've never had absolutely never. Yeah. I'm grateful. He is the next face of this sport, other than Tiger and Scotty right now, and he is he's been the long-term face of the sport for well over a decade at this point. I'd say with Tiger's inactivity, but I think as great as an interview as he is, again, the media. They overstepped a line, whoever, and it's probably two people he trusted. These two media outlets that leaked the story about this driver, and the rest of the world who on the outside looking in.
Maybe it was his ex-girlfriend.
Which
wait, Chip, that's being for real, right?
Well,
was he not dating a reporter?
That there's speculation. I don't know. I mean, he's been
if
married.
I'm looking who's leaking, that's the one I'm looking at.
He's been married for several years, and obviously
that's true too. But there's awful lot of reports about him and this affair with this reporter and her and everything that she's put out there.
He wins in his places in so many blamed tournaments that CBS has her interviewing him every event that he competes in. I mean, it's just. I don't know.
I'm just saying, if I was looking to who's leaking something, I swear probably that one's the one that's leaking something.
But again,
whatever is leaking,
he's been so willing to be open and transparent, and he probably feels like he got burnt by it. And again, PGA is not requiring him to do it, and it's in his mind, he's like, well, it seems to be doing me more harm than good when I do talk to you guys. So why would I do that at this point? And I think also I loved his point, the arguments he made or the points he made at the U.S. Open the following month. He said, "Look, y'all wanted my take on that at Quail Hollow at the PGA. He says, I'm trying to protect a lot of people. I'm trying to protect TaylorMade. Nobody knew about Scotty, that Scotty's driver was non-conforming. He said, I didn't want to mention it. I didn't want to bring anything up about Scotty before the tournament started. I was trying to protect Scotty. I'm trying to protect TaylorMade, trying to protect myself, say something I don't want to say. He's transparent. He's authentic when he says things. I have no issues with listening to Rory and getting his take. He's normally extremely thoughtful. I think the media overstepped their line, and he feels like he got burned, and he's trying to protect himself right now. And along with the fact that he's probably the closest person to Tiger in the sport that has as much exposure. I mean, you saw it when you went to Quail. He's not even hardly in contention, and the crowd just swarms him. Mm-hmm. I saw the day that Lindsay and I went to a practice round. He went to when he was getting autographs. I mean, it's a mob of people trying to get to him, and I didn't even get anything autographed. I was just looking at him. I was like, this is a little different than my tee box, and he just gave me a look and a wink. He's like, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be a Rory fan because he's the one that stood up for the PGA when the LIV was coming in.
That's another thing.
You know,
he was honest and transparent with his thoughts, and then you see what happened. Again, the tour leadership can do what they want to do, but I think he felt like he was the spokesman. They wanted him to be the spokesman. He was. but he had no idea about the deal that they were doing with the
But he stood
with the
behind
Saudi
them.
Arabian fund. So it's just I think there's been times he's tried to be himself, and he felt like he got burned. And until they require it, why is it necessarily? And I hate it's a sad thing for us as fans and patrons, because I love to hear his interview. I love to hear his perspective. He has an appreciation for the history of the sport. He knows the game. He's normally he's not as standoffish as Tiger could be at times. And again, I'm an idealist. I know we're running on low on time. I'm an idealist. I love to look at Jack and Arnold and how they treated people. And they were the standard bearers. It's one of the reasons Jack is not just my favorite golfer, but my favorite athlete. I am also aware and cognizant it's easy for me to be idealistic about that time in history, because the media exposure back then and the media availability for those and access to those players is nothing compared to what it was for Tiger and Rory. They are dealing with an entirely different level of exposure that Mr. Nicklaus and Mr. Palmer just didn't have to deal with. I would like to think they'd be the same way, but who knows? A man can only take so much.
All right, guys, we got to go. We'll see you next week. Katie.